Nighttime begins with the feasting. Full platter, full cup, and full bowl. Toasting our friendships unceasing. The night is the realm of the soul. Singing and poems and stories. Hilarious, scary, and droll. Boasting our heartbreaks and glories. The night is the realm of the soul. Then comes the time of love-making, where two broken cells become whole. Sharing, not losing, and taking. The night is the realm of the soul. No pleasure, no boredom, no weeping, no effort maintaining no role. Ceasing our being or sleeping. The night is the realm of the soul. The day we devote to the means. The night we devote to the goal. The day is the realm of machines. Is the realm of the soul. Welcome to the Singing and Poems and Stories part of the evening. I will be performing for you some of my best loved and most powerful songs. Like the singer-songwriters of the folk revival of the 1960s, the words are the focus. So I'll be performing parlando style, that is to say, singing that sounds like speech.
These songs came mostly out of my lifelong obsession, let us say quest, to understand life, not the biological process, but the human experience. Initially, I was hunting for a deep philosophical understanding of life. Now I will settle for a few apt metaphors. This show is full of metaphors, including the word dance in its name. Big thing about life that you notice is change. Some changes bring profit, some changes bring loss, and some are to show everybody who's boss. Some changes are progress, and some are decay, and some of them don't make much difference which way. Some changes are substance, some changes are style, and some are to do something new for a while. I'm really ambivalent about change. I want to change my life, but I don't want to lose anything. In this kaleidoscope of life, sometimes you find a view so beautiful that you could gaze upon it for eternity. Once lost, you will never find it again, but still you turn it. In life's kaleidoscope, for beauty passing, grieve the loss. For beauty coming, feel the hope, and thrill at all you come across in life's kaleidoscope. We look in life's kaleidoscope and see that it is lovely. After every turn, we know that we can never see it all. But we will find beauty again and again, and so we turn it. In life's kaleidoscope, for beauty passing, grieve the loss. For beauty coming, feel the hope, and thrill at all you come across in life's kaleidoscope. In life's kaleidoscope, there are no roads, no place to go, no place to stay, and no returning once we stray in life's kaleidoscope. It's all exquisite, all a thrill, everywhere is beautiful, everywhere is beautiful for beauty coming, feel the hope and thrill at all you come across in life's kaleidoscope. I'm fascinated with life's transitions. Those times when, if you will, you are turning the kaleidoscope and the old view has vanished and the new one has not yet settled. Or, if you will, those times when you're changing instruments. Or, to use a different metaphor, a poem. I'd assembled the kit to make myself, all of the pieces exactly in place, when I discovered a new piece of me that didn't connect to any free edge. I took life apart and reassembled, the new piece fitting snug in the center. Then a piece broke. My life fell apart. To get it together, I broke it all down, pondered the pieces, and built it anew. Now everything's fine, until the next time.
Tints of blue on this one, this one.
This is the blue.
As blue as we can. It's as blue
Yeah,
as
it's
we
just
can get.
cool. Yeah, I know it looks like maybe darker, but
And naturally, I've forgotten where I am right now.
I'm sorry, you're at Homeless Blues.
Ah, yes. For that blue, definitely. This is definitely a broken piece song. It's the story of a man I met while I was working at a homeless shelter, volunteering, in Chicago. My wife was not a woman to complain. She waited months before she did complain, and went to see the doctor for the pain. The doctor read the lab results and said, I wish I'd never heard what that doctor said. In a year, most patients will be dead. We tried all we could to make her whole. We spent all we could to make her whole. To save your body, mortgage, house, and soul. We thought we'd saved some money to retire. Not much, but we had saved it to retire. But to retire, you first must not expire. I had to take time off to give her care. The boss said, sure, take time to give her care. Just don't expect your job will still be there. I sat her final hours by her side. I wept and said, I love you, by her side. I held her hand long after she had died. I had to give the bank our home and yard. All those things we did in that home and yard. To lock the door and turn my back was hard. I was begging for some cash so I could eat. Every day I have to beg to eat. The guy says, hey, you bum, get off the street. I wonder what that loudmouth guy would do. I wonder if you know what you would do. I've proven who I am, but proven who I am, but who are you? The next song is more of a new piece of me song. It's about a situation I've been through many times in my life. As I was writing the song, I was reflecting how most of the brain evolved before language. So for the most part, our lives are being run by this pre-language brain that we disdain as subconscious because it won't talk to us. It makes life a lot like riding an elephant. You know, sometimes the elephant decides where you're going to go, and the elephant isn't saying why. Trying to figure out what's going on with us is a whole lot like that. We don't know what's happening, but we have to try to guess it from the feelings and images that float up. And then we have to check our guesses with how our deep brain feels about the guess. It's all a big game of warmer, colder. I stomped the snow off from my boots and draped my coat on a chair. I joined the line for the barista with the green streak in her hair. I ordered and I slid her cash. She asked me, how's your day? I said, my soul is like the weather, frigid, bleak, and gray. She said, look at all that's good in life. I said, two things come to me. Knowing life's not permanent and it's not compulsory. So she asked me if I had a plan to depart this mortal shore. I said, hey, it's not like life's not been this meaningless before. Times like that I tell myself, you're gonna find your meaning no matter what you do. For while you seek your why is seeking you. Those times my life is meaningless, the saying comes to me. Rein warum zu leben hat trägt fast jedes Vieh. Whoever has a why to live can bear most every how. I hope my why will show up soon and let itself be found. And while I wait, I tell myself, you're gonna find your meaning no matter what you do. For while you seek your why, why do you seek your why? Your why is seeking you. Nobody thinks about the meaning of life, except during an identity crisis. I've been thinking about it for the last 60 years. Strange phrase that, the meaning of life. What is life? A paragraph? Is it a sentence? I mean, except for convicted felons. I think it all comes from having a life story, which reminds me of a poem. People insist that you have a life story. A story explaining how you became you. A version you use when you're seeking employment. Another you use when you're out on a date. People desire that your story have meaning. People require that your story make sense. People aren't pleased if your story is boring. People demand that your story not change. Make sure your hero with gumption and courage, facing adversity, wins in the end. I made up my story to satisfy people, and now they have the gall to inquire if it's true. The most I will say is, it's truly a story inspired by actual events. I have it. A story has a meaning. You have a life story, therefore your life has a meaning. Yeah, or maybe a bunch of them. Life is like a collection of short stories we're trying to work into a novel. Life is a manuscript in search of a good editor. I think actually a life story is a lot like a resume. It tells you and everybody else what to expect from you. And when you go through a life transition, you have to update your resume. You have to revise your life story, including some incidents, ignoring others, reinterpreting some episodes, rewriting some others. While you are revising your life story, life is meaningless. Your old story has been lost, and your new story has not yet been found. Which leaves me wondering, who are we really? Our conscious selves? Our life story's hero? Or some sort of deep reality within us that the life story has to fit with? Or just our bodies? Or what? And what's this immortal soul we're supposed to have? Speaking of which, I think the most momentous accomplishment of human reason is the syllogism, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Hey, wait a minute, they're talking about me. Great. Having just filled our lives with unrelenting dread and bouts of terror, now we have to find something to tell ourselves so we can go on functioning. Something like immortal soul. One of the things I tell myself is that life is a dance. A dance does not last past the dancing. We dance for the sake of the dance. Why should we crave the eternal and not give ourselves to this dance? Let's dance for the sake of the dance. Just dance for the sake of the dance. Just knowing that death's always waiting. The deaths of the ones that I love. And my death, of course, it is coming. But I won't let that crush how I live. The dance does not last past the dancing. We dance for the sake of the dance. Why should we crave the eternal and not give ourselves to this dance? Let's dance for the sake of the dance. Just dance for the sake of the dance. Someday the sun will envelop the earth. Someday the stars disappear. Receding in darkness, the cosmos will freeze, leaving no trace we were here. And the dance does not last past the dancing. We dance for the sake of the dance. Why should we crave the eternal and not give ourselves to this dance? Let's dance for the sake of the dance. Just dance for the sake of the dance. Of course, telling yourself things only works while death is remote. In the presence of death, we can't do anything except grieve.
This next song was written in honor of grief. I look into the window of a shop. think that she would look good wearing that. Then out there on the street, begin to cry. I'm often startled, so I turn to look. And stand there staring at the emptiness. I glanced her in the corner of my eye. When I stretch out my hand, I feel cold sheets. I still sleep on my own side of the bed, as if my tearful tossing counts as sleep. By day I have the strength for acting brave, since no one really wants to feel my grief. Alone in bed at night's my time to weep. One night at a time. I take it one night at a time. The hardest stone erodes away, the darkest night must yield today. One night at a time. My sky is overcast, no moon, no stars. The ashes of my fire are cold and dark. I hunker down in all-pervasive night. In this, the darkest time that I recall, I vow to keep myself alive till dawn, and cleanse my darkness in the healing light. One night at a time. I take it one night at a time. The hardest stone erodes away, the darkest night must yield today. One night at a time. Don't try to cheer me up. Just walk me through my chores. You know that she was worth all of my tears and more. One night at a time. I take it one night at a time. The hardest stone erodes away, the darkest night must yield today. One night at a time. One night at a time. One night at a time.
Of course, some people are attracted to death. Anybody here ever suffered from depression or enjoyed it either? About 1 in 10 of us do at some point in our lives. My preferred form of depression is seasonal affective disorder. I had a career that self-destructed every winter. But oh, those gloriously energetic summers. Well, relatively speaking. I'm sure that a lot of depression is neurochemical. But I suspect that a certain fraction of depression is the result of trying to reject a life transition. There are things we value, things that make life worthwhile, without which life would not be worth living. And when we go through a transition, we may experience the loss of those things. that life is over is felt to mean life is over. Putting those together gave me this song. Your body's not excited that it's spending time with you. Your body doesn't care about your goals. It has no enthusiasm for achieving your success. Your friends keep asking whether you're depressed. The stalks are tan, the branches bare, no birds are left to sing. You'll never know from winter what life is like in spring. Your body's way past caring about your fame and wealth. Your body's getting over loving you. It's filled with gloomy thoughts and with images of death. Its way of saying, I must change my life. The dawn comes late, the dark too soon, the birds have flown away. You'll never know from winter the ecstasy of May. You really can't accept that it's you who has to go. So you decide you both should die together. I'm never going to let you be with anyone but me. Suicide's a nasty lover's quarrel. The stalks are tan, the branches bare, there are no birds to sing. You'll never know from winter the joy the sun will bring. Your body acts out many souls before its life is done, and every single soul believes that it's the only one. The dawn comes late, the dark too soon, the birds have flown away. You'll never know from winter a lazy summer's day. The jaws of ice, the claws of wind, the walls of piled up snow. So much of life is waiting for what we don't yet know. So much of life is waiting for what we cannot know. You know, existence is a whole lot of effort, especially if you don't have a purpose in life to keep you motivated. But you don't dare let your existence lapse. It's like health insurance. Death is a pre-existing condition. I get a certain amount of comfort out of the idea that I might not exist in the first place. Not so much to lose. Yeah, I know. You think Descartes nailed that one down. You remember the story. René Descartes wanted to know something, anything, with absolute certainty. He went through categories of knowledge, throwing out the entire category if there were a speck of doubt about any part of it. Pretty soon he had thrown out all the categories he could think of. He was getting desperate. He wondered, how can I even know that I exist? And then he saw it. At the moment he asked the question, do I exist? He experienced himself asking it. Proof. I think, therefore I am. I decided to see if I could reproduce his results. Here's a poem about my attempt. Do I exist? Descartes was right. There's someone there who asked the question. I'm thinking, therefore I'm existing. I take a nap. When I wake up, I check again. Do I exist? Yes, clearly, there I am again. Or should I say, there I still am. It's hard to tell. I can't be sure if I exist when I'm asleep. I look outside and see it's raining. Of course we know there is no it. The verb to reign requires a subject. But then so does the verb to think. So why did I choose I? I could have said, it thinks, therefore I am. Do I exist? I'm pretty sure, but I confess a speck of doubt.
Actually, there's a good reason to say that we don't exist, but it's kind of cheating. I was taught in school never to begin a definition with, it is when. Say, it occurs when. Objects exist, events, activities, transient things occur. I think our consciousness is way too ephemeral to be said to exist, and even our bodies are a lot more transient than we would like. It might make a lot more sense to say, we do not exist, we occur.
Philosophy. So much of philosophy seems to be about these isolated consciousnesses peering out at a world that may or may not be there. I think we're actually not interconnected precisely, interacting, interreacting. I think we're a whole lot more like the jewels in Indra's net. Anyone know Indra's net? The god Indra has a net. Wherever two cords are tied together, there's a jewel attached. And every jewel glows with the reflections of all the other jewels. And if you look carefully into one of those reflections, you'll see all the jewels in it. For this song, however, I decided to make it into a necklace. There's less to explain. He hung around to talk. He said my verses blaze. He said they sparkle like a gem. I grinned to hear the praise. That image stuck with me. For if gems are shining bright, that doesn't come from fires within. So what's my source of light? Like a gem may you sparkle, like a gem may you glow, may you see all the necklace in the rays that each gem throws. For the light we share, for the light we share among us is the only light we'll know. Like a gem may you wildly scatter rainbows. A girl says God's the source, whose light makes all things shine. I'm happy she has seen that light. That vision's not been mine. I see a world of gems, and all the light I see is light that others pass through them, and I pass on through me. Like a gem may you sparkle, like a gem may you glow, may you see all the necklace and the rays that each gem throws. For the light we share among us is the only light we'll know. Like a gem may you wildly scatter rainbows. Your light continues after you are gone. Take the light that you receive and pass it on. Like a gem may you sparkle, like a gem may you glow, may you see all the necklace and the rays that each gem throws. The light we share among us is the only light we'll know. Like a gem may you wildly scatter rainbows. ago, I came up with a metaphor that left me feeling serene for half a year. Trivial thing, really. Life is a buffet. Well, yeah, you pile a tray with as much as you can, but no. Then occurred to me that the only significant question about a buffet is, was the meal worth the price? The price of living is dying. And my life was already worth its price. I wanted everybody to feel as serene as I did. I went around telling people the metaphor and ending up by saying, so, how's life? Is it to die for? Then I tried it on a couple. The man immediately said, no. I don't think his wife is going to forgive me anytime soon. You know, I know better, but I'll put it to you. How's your life? Is it to die for? No, Casanova, no Don Juan, but still my loves and I would kiss and cuddle, fight and make up, laugh, share, care and cry. I'm pleased when former lovers win. I'm saddened when they fail. I think with those with whom I lay, my thoughts will always lie. Oh, what a feast in life's buffet. Oh, what a feast. I might have dated one so long, should no time left to wed. No spouse, no child as she grows old. Am I the reason why? Uninsured, one had a lump. I had the best of care. She would not marry without love. I had to let her die. But what a feast in life's buffet. Oh, what a feast. I had a feast at life's buffet. The meal was worth the price. My life has been to die for, no regrets and last goodbye. I wish I'd spent less time in church. The women there are nice. But think too much what not to do instead of what to try. I guess I wish I'd had more loves. I wish I loved them more. I wish my life were broad and deep, not merely long and high. But what a feast in life's buffet. Oh, what a feast. Oh, why did it leave me serene for only half a year? You know, eventually you gotta get motivated. Actually, that's a little bit too flippant a remark. So I achieved serenity. But then I still had conflicts and losses, still had life's transitions. Although knowing my life is worth its price can relieve the stress of the certainty of death, it does not relieve the stress of the uncertainties of life. Impediments, impediments, impediments. Change is an impediment to feeling comfortable. Feeling comfortable is an impediment to change. It reminds me of the Gnostics, a spiritual movement in Roman times. The goal of the Gnostics was life-transforming insight, typically achieved by creative acts, artistic acts. I have derived a song from a Gnostic myth. It shows the Gnostics' dislike for society and a religion as impediments to their spiritual transformation. And of course, when I hear transformation, I think transition. And those are impediments to our transition still. We each contain sparks of the Spirit that enter the moment of birth, that put us in touch with the holy, that put us in touch with our worth. The lords of the physical world try to make every spark become blind, creating concerns to distract us, commitments and duties to bind, to make our possessions possess us, is the heart of their devious plan. To think what you own is your value, to think that the money's the man, to think it's all winners and losers, and the winners are those with the wealth, and all of the losers find life has no comfort, no safety, no health. The physical lords of religion keep spirit entirely walled in, faith solely for life after dying, it's solely salvation from sin. Theology chosen for children can't speak to us once we are grown. Religion forbidden from changing leaves culture enchained to its stone. Rotely performing the ritual, in sightless reciting the prayers, mindlessly mouthing the dogmas, we find no relief from our cares. Starving with spiritual hunger, parched with a spiritual thirst, assured the religion is perfect, we feel that it's our fault we're cursed. The Spirit enlisted the artists to bring every being the cure. Artists who sacrifice status, artists content to be poor, artists who bring the soul vision, artists who fan sparks to flame, artists who know that their mission is greater than fortune or fame, artists who know that their mission is greater than fortune or fame. I want to tell you my most recent final conclusions about life. It's important that an animal know its territory. And for us humans, a lot of our territory is in the non-verbal mind. To search for the experience of life in philosophy or any other highly verbal pursuit is to search for a key under the light rather than over in the dark where we lost it. I have concluded that it is the arts, the underfunded, underappreciated arts, that are the lanterns we can use to search the dark areas of our territory. Or less poetically, The arts are how we can communicate with our deep selves that cannot speak to us in prose. Maybe I just overthink everything. Consciousness is a power tool that doesn't shut off, and it idles on unhappy. We need some way to turn it off or give it something to work on, and so one final song. When I lived out upon the street, no shelter from the rain and sleet, no cooling from the summer heat, no guarantee I'd eat. If I got high, I say, so what? Grant me my whiskey, wine, and pot, and force no man to face my lot, stone cold sober. No, 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 you must get high. Get high on wine, on work, on love, whichever cup you choose. Drink deep, you must get high to relish life, you must get high. Engrossed, engaged down to my core, aware of action, nothing more. Not passionate, not tense, not bored, unchained from time I soar. I lose myself within the flow, far above life's stress and woe. Why would I ever want to go stone cold sober? No, 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 you must get high. Get high on wine, on work, on love, whichever cup you choose. Drink deep, you must get high to relish life. You must get high. I hold my dear, secure and near. We love, we fight, we persevere. Through fire and chill, desire and fear, confused and yet so clear. Intoxicated by her face, her voice, her charm, her simple grace. How could I be some other place? Stone cold sober. No, 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 you must get high. Get high on wine, on work, on love, whichever cup you choose. Drink deep, you must get high to relish life. You must get high. You must get high. You must get high.